Okay. Hi guys, I want to welcome you all to this live stream. This is a Dr. K Boogie Woogie live stream. I've called it Save the Arts because I've just heard that the Royal Albert Hall in London is on the brink of filing for bankruptcy. Cirque du Soleil have filed for bankruptcy, and theatres are open, but apparently you're not allowed to give live performances. So I want you all, whatever your opinion about what's going on in the world, and there are different opinions about what's going on, I want you to think about the arts, and I want you to think about music, drama, theatre, all the things that actually make life worth interesting. And we're moving into a world now where, in the name of something that's going on, all these things have been shut down. Gigs have been cancelled, bands are not allowed to tour. Yes, they're going online, but we're moving into a very, very different world now. And it sometimes grieves me when I find musicians who I'm associated with who are more concerned about what their neighbours will think rather than actually questioning the narrative. So I want you to support the arts. I want you to remember that, you know, the arts are really what give our lives that kind of zest. And I want you to support bands, musicians, and question a little bit more about what we're being told, okay? Because if you believe every single thing that you hear on the media and that the governments tell you, basically, we're going down a certain road that I think the arts will completely disappear. The public pianos are still shut, and I can't see them opening really for the foreseeable future. So let us support the arts. Let us remember all those actors, musicians, bands, theatres that are not allowed to open, and let's support them, because the arts are an essential part of our lives. And without them, let's face it, life is a little bit boring. No matter how safe we are to be, if we don't have a little bit of magic, well, what's it all about really? Okay. in D. Is there anybody there?
There is, can't read his name, Corby or someone says he's from the County Kerry.
Were you down in the county?
RPRSAAD wants me to shout his name out.
Who? Passagardia.
And a donation from the person who wanted it as well.
Well, thank you very much. We'll do.
And somebody else from Aziz wants Passagardia as well.
Okay, we'll do Passagardia.
Logan wants to know what that tune was just called that you played before
that was
the County Kerry one.
That was Canon in D. You know. That was Pachelbel's Canon in D. I kind of do my own variations on it. So. If there are any violinists or guitarists out there who fancy a duet, just drop me a line, because I know a lot of musicians are not doing gigs at the moment. So I am concerned about the arts in this country, and online is great, but you know, it's live performances that really make it. So
Paolo says if you activate master mode, Brendan.
If I would?
I think Paolo thinks that might be the solution to the arts. He said activate master mode, Brendan.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Perhaps it's your DNA is awakening or something.
Well, I'm ready to go down, you know, but I just think we've all got too acquiescent, you know. When I see these so-called rock and rollers,
too compliant.
When I see these rock and rollers who are supposed to be into rock and roll, and they listen to the mainstream media, they're scared of what their neighbours say, they believe everything that they're told, like good little boys and girls, and I think, what is the world coming to? I think, you know, we used to be a little bit rebellious. Yeah, there's a few people out there who I expect better of. You know, what was rock and roll all about? It was about questioning things. It was about, you know, not being too compliant, you know, and sort of questioning the norm. But now I see everyone going around like, "Ba, ba, black sheep, have you any more?" So I think we all need to kind of wake up a little bit and kind of get our arts open. We want to get those theatres open. We want to get the gigs open. We want to get the venues open. We want to get music. We want to get drama. We want to get theatre. We want to get
Lawrence
these places
from
over
Heathrow
again.
is online. Do you know him? Lawrence
I don't.
Baker.
No.
He says Lawrence from Heathrow. He says Brendan is the greatest pianist.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's get the theatres open. You know, let's get the gigs open. Glastonbury, I believe, had to be cancelled this year. As I said, I heard the Royal Albert Hall is struggling at the moment. It doesn't know when it can open. And how many gigs and tours have been cancelled for bands? It's not just
Ingrid says in Holland they are starting performances, not for huge crowds.
Well, I hope they are. You know, I hope they are starting performances. I mean, I might come over to Holland if there's any public pianos open. If there's anyone watching this and there's public pianos in your part of the world, can you let me know? Because in England, I assume they're still locked down. And, you know, most of the piano players out there are too frightened of their own shadows to do anything.
This has been a cultural attack.
It has been. It has been a total cultural attack. And to be quite honest, I'm disgusted at the musicians who've actually gone along with this. There's a few people who've gone along with this, who don't question it, who just go along with the narrative and don't question it. I mean, for goodness sake, you know, because they watch the mainstream media, they believe everything that they're told.
Pia Trek says Poland loves you.
Yeah, Poland. I mean, I like
Logan wants the can-can.
I like those countries that didn't shut down, you know.
Logan wants the can-can.
We want the can-can. And for those people out there who are still compliant, just get your act together and start acting like a normal human being, and let's get the arts open again. Let's get the theatres open.
Shirley says drive-in theatres are opening here. I'm not sure where Shirley is.
Drive-in theatres, okay. I mean, it's still not the same though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's still not the same. I mean, we need to get rid of all this kind of nonsense and just get back to being normal human beings. You know, I mean, am I the only one who feels this way? That we need to drop the nonsense and get back to being normal human beings. That's what life is meant to be a bit risky anyway. And if we make things too safe,
we might as well ban kind of motorways because people have accidents.
And I wish people, you know, the only way you could get this current thing that's going on is by watching television. You know, this kind of illness. If you just turn off the television and turn off the mainstream news, apparently you don't get it. But so many people out there.
Vizik says in Belarus there's been no lockdown.
Yeah, Belarus.
Vizik lives in Belarus.
Yeah, and there's, you know, the statistics aren't any higher. In fact, they've been lower in the countries that haven't locked down. So can I make
Johnson says 2% mortality rate, exactly.
Yeah, can I make an appeal to those musicians out there who are supposed to be pianists or rock and roll musicians, that you actually get your act together, stop believing everything that you're being told, and actually develop a brain cell, because I think humanity is dividing into two. We're getting those people who are actually questioning what's going on, and those people who are just saying, yes, I obey. And unfortunately, those people who say, yes, I obey, are trying to bring the rest of us down with them. We need to get the arts back. We need to get them...
There are also people that question,
yeah,
but they still obey the rules. They say, oh, well, God, I've got to obey the rules, you know, so that should be...
Well, I think it will come to an eventual point where we would say this has just got too ridiculous. The line has been drawn in. How far are we going to allow this to go? We need to open our theatres. You know, it's a disgrace that the Albert Hall, the Royal Albert Hall, is going into bankruptcy. It's a disgrace that we can't go out and mix with our friends in the pub without having these all ridiculous rules and regulations.
Matt Whiteman agrees with you completely.
And so, you know, if you're
Maddox says totally agree. Time to
listen. If you're into you know, complying with everything that you're being told.
Lots of people agreeing with you there.
I hope so. You know, I don't care if I get hate, because you know, I got to come out and just say, you know, enough is enough. Enough is enough. You know, the arts are dying. Culture is dying in this country. And certain people who are supposed to be in the arts are just watching the news and saying, oh yes, I obey, I'm frightened of what the neighbours... I phoned up some person who shall be nameless. I asked him to come out to play, and do you know what he said? He said he was frightened of what his neighbours would say.
How do they know if he's going out anyway?
Well, he said he's scared of what his neighbours were going to say, and this is a person out there who presents himself as a rock and roller. For goodness sake.
Ferreting knows who that is.
So a kind of loss of respect.
Believe in yourself, says President Trump agrees with you, and they're crucifying him.
Well, absolutely.
I actually like
it's about time we stood up. It's about time we stood up, for goodness sake.
I wasn't that interested in President Trump,
you know,
when he came, and I didn't think...
I mean, I see people who are brainwashed in the school system, brainwashed by the BBC. I mean, the BBC was bad enough, but the BBC now, anyone who reads The Guardian and watches the BBC is completely brain dead. And unfortunately, there are still people out there who never do any research, who never check the figures, who never check what they're being told, who just believe what they're being told like good little sheep. Well, this is what's killing the arts. This is what's killing music. This is what's killing live music. This is what's killing theatres, by just obeying. And think of all the actors out there who are out of business. Think of all the theatres that are shutting down. Think of all the bands that don't have any gigs to go to. And how long we're just obeying. We're just doing what we're told, for goodness sake. Let's do some more music. So I say resist. That's what I say. I say
Trump
resist.
2020.
I say resist. I say resist. Some people...
Christina says people are forgetting that art is rebellion.
Well, it used...
He says Putin's number one.
Well, yes.
And somebody else wants Bohemian Rhapsody, and they've said it about 100 times.
Okay, I'm not doing... Well,
Gardening Tips wants to say hello.
Hello.
And Louis Mustachio, he's posted about 100 times. He says, say his name 3 times.
Who?
I'm not going to... Mustachio.
Mustachio?
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name 3 times. I've said your name once. Actually, I said it twice. Dedicate this to all the people who still believe everything that they're being told on the mainstream media, who still believe everything that the government is telling them, who still believe what their teachers are telling them at school. And I wish, for goodness sake, these people who present themselves as rock and rollers would wake up, for goodness sake. Oh, you're really so brainwashed. When are you going to wake up? You're not a rock and roller. You're just a little poodle. You're a sheep. It's time to wake up. You're just a sheep. It's time to wake up. Anymore. It's time to resist.
small businesses have gone out of business, you know, the hairdressers, the pubs, and loads of people who had small little businesses have gone bankrupt, and these people have been forgotten. So let us remember.
Paolo, I just want to say we're in the UK, we're not eligible to vote in the American elections. He's asking if we're going to vote for Donald Trump. I don't think we should get into that, but all I want to say is Trump isn't the way that I wasn't interested in when he came to power. I thought it was a bit of an idiot even, but my opinion of him has gone up.
Well, I think as
but
this,
I'm not eligible to vote, so I don't think we should say.
I think as this thing progresses, more and more people. I'm glad more and more people are waking up. But I mean, for those of you who still watch the BBC and believe everything you're told, and those people who still think the government is telling us the absolute truth, I don't know what to say.
And no one is saying, just to say, I'm getting a few comments. No one's saying we don't believe there's a coronavirus, and no one's saying we don't believe people have died, but we're saying the effect of the lockdown is going to cause so much more deaths, economic collapses, people's businesses, people who've got cancer who can't get treatment. So someone has just come on and said that his brother has died of coronavirus. And we want to say that obviously sympathies go out to anyone whose relations have died, but think of the effect of this lockdown on so many more people, their businesses, their livelihoods, their health. And does it justify it? And does the lockdown even stop people from getting any virus anyway? It doesn't.
Yeah, I think this lockdown.
They're going to get it anyway. In the UK, Boris Johnson said we only had the lockdown to flatten the curve. They were going to get it anyway. It was about pressure on the NHS. Boris didn't even want to do the lockdown. So I'm afraid we sympathies with anyone who's died, but you know, do we ban motorways because people have accidents?
I think we're trying to make life now so non-risky that it's just going to be a blend. We should just stay. Basically, it seems like we should all stand up. We should all stay in permanent lockdown forever. We should all wear face masks.
And Maddox says
and we should take no risks.
About control. It's not about the virus.
Yeah, it's about control and compliance. Humanity is shifting. We're always going to have a divide here. We're going to have those people who go with the programme and those people saying, hold on a minute, there's something not right here. And humanity is dividing, right? And there's going to be those people who just believe everything that they're being told. And there's those people who think, hold on a minute, what is going on here? And I'm in the, hold on a minute, what's, you know, if you scratch beneath the surface,
well, Dennis says correctly, we've been lied to so much that politicians have lost all credibility.
I think politicians have been lost all
credibility.
credibility.
Aziz says, can you shut up and play the piano as well?
Yeah. Well, remember, the arts are being affected, right? The arts are being affected. Think of all those
Believing
bands.
Stuff is right. He says, heart goes out to anyone who's lost anyone for any illness, but we can't look down the whole of humanity. We can't have this control. We can't have... There's more evil in doing that than in any kind of illness.
I mean, the idea that we should be permanently locked in and businesses just crumble.
Think of the people in those tower blocks. When it's not that we don't have sympathy that anyone who's died of anything, of cancer, because they can't get treatment at the moment. People are dying of that. But people are dying in poverty. People are dying of suicide.
Yeah.
Babies are being killed in the womb. People are dying. We have our hearts go out to that, but the effect of this lockdown is more detrimental than the effect if we didn't have it. That is not saying we don't have sympathy for anyone who's lost
the effect
relative to coronavirus or any other cause.
Yeah, we you know, the devastation that this has caused to small businesses, to even old people who have not got treatment.
At the moment, I believe there's some tower blocks where people are just not even being allowed out and hardly given any food.
The poorest people.
If I'm wrong about that, Australians.
There's always going to be people who go with the government narrative, and there's going to be people on here who go with what the mainstream is saying. However, there are people who kind of are beginning to wake up that there's something not quite right about all this. And I'm concerned about the arts. That's what I want to stick to. I want to stick about music, acting, playing the piano, performance, theatre. All these are being silently killed before our eyes.
Sheepdog says there are people who are afraid to go to hospital with other illnesses, I think he must mean, because of all this.
Yes. Many people have died.
Yeah, Paolo, sorry, we're not in the USA, so we got no vote. He's saying don't vote for Biden, vote for Trump. I think if I had a choice between Trump and Biden, I would definitely vote for Trump, whatever it might be.
So look, obviously, I've nailed my colours to the mask. If you totally believe everything that's going on, you totally accept what the government is telling you.
Also, we can differ with people and still.
We can differ with them.
What is wrong with having a bit of debate and not differing? Some people might think this lockdown is actually right and should be even stricter. That doesn't mean we don't respect them.
Yeah, the problem is what you're getting the mask wearers wanting to force their masks on other people. You're going to have people policing each other. It reminds me at the start of lockdown when people were phoning up, snitching on their neighbours.
Anyone who's worried, I think they should have perfect freedom to wear a mask and stay at home and do whatever.
But don't force it on the rest of us.
Don't force it on the rest of us.
You know, don't force it on the rest of us. Life is inherently risky, right? Life is inherently risky.
Aziz wants to know if it's a political stream.
It's more of a truth stream and a
people running for president at the moment. Maybe we should become American citizens and run for
Well,
president.
I'm just, I'm just, do the arts mean anything to anyone?
Fuzzy thinks civil war is coming. I think these people are.
Do the arts mean anything? Are we just meant to say, oh, let's go along with everything and do everything that the government says, and let's just do everything? I mean, what happened to questioning and just kind of going beneath the surface and just checking out some of the facts and figures?
No one's saying, just in answer to a few people, no one's saying we don't think a virus can spread. But if you look at the statistics, the death rate from this virus does not justify the suffering that has been caused in so many ways by this lockdown and will continue to be caused. So no one's saying, people don't catch a virus, get in danger from, get other illnesses as well. We mustn't forget about that.
Life. I think we're getting to the stage now where people think that life is too risky to live. You know. Life is inherent. No one's going to get out of life alive.
And
right?
Miranda quite rightly says the suffering from wearing a mask.
Um,
I don't know if she's in favour or against Miranda, but I think there are people with conditions where they can't wear a mask.
Listen, if people stop going along with this, open our theatres, let the bands go back out on the road again, let the actors go in, and if people are scared, let them stay at home. Let society operate as normal. If people are scared, let them stay at home, but don't force it on the rest of us. If people want to go to pubs, let them go to pubs.
And if you want to wear a mask, you should be absolutely free to wear a mask.
But don't force it on the rest of us. So we're questioning it. Look, if you go along with the government narrative, me and you ain't going to get on, right? So it's simple as that. I'm concerned about the arts, I'm concerned about the death of the arts, I'm concerned about the theatres, I'm concerned about the musicians, I'm concerned about the bands that are not touring, I'm concerned about all the small businesses, and I'm concerned that the cure is actually worse than the supposed disease. So I think if more people spoke out a bit, we'd be in a better place.
Paolo really wants to get his voice out there. He wants to go on about Trump.
All right,
so I just have to give him a bit of a voice. Thank you, Paolo. that Paolo did not get banned for supporting Trump. I wouldn't ban him. And also, I wouldn't ban anyone for supporting anyone else. Kanye West, Biden, whatever his name is. Sounds like B-Day, though, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah.
this one. But anyway, yes, I'll be quiet now. Oh,
Okay.
someone else said that as soon as you get tired of my conversation, you start playing. I must find it so tiresome. That's actually that person's got.
Well, listen, God bless you all. Remember.
Paul wants Moonlight Sonata to end with peace and quiet. Kind of, he says, kind of end with Moonlight Sonata.
I probably need to get the music out for that. I probably need to get.
No one wants to ban you, Paolo. Absolutely, I don't agree with all this censorship. You should be allowed to give your opinion. And if your opinion was that you wanted Beyonce to be president, that would you'd be allowed to give your opinion. Me to be president, that would be good.
Let's finish with a little bit of Hamlet. That's it for today. Remember, don't be a sheeple, question authority, don't watch the mainstream news, click that like button, support the arts, support music. Let's get those theatres open, let's get those gigs open, let's get those bands moving again, let's get the actors out there, let's get the musicians out there. Don't let the arts die, for goodness sake, do not let the arts die. So when you see someone playing the piano on YouTube or on Facebook, or you see an actor or a dancer,
Martin made a really good point.
Make
People
sure you
need to
pick
worry
that-
about their soul first, not this who-flu.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Sheeple agrees.
And for those of you who believe everything that you're being told, well, there's not a lot I can say, but all I can say is that the arts are dying before our eyes. Before our eyes. London, the Royal Albert Hall is a symbol of that. It's in serious trouble at the moment. The Royal Albert Hall in London, an iconic venue. The government hasn't told it when it can open again. It looks like it's going to go bust. And it's a symbol of what's happening to the arts and what's happening to music. And all we can do is stay at home and do what we're told. I think we need to get out there and open our theatres.
So I'm not laughing at you, when Terry Miles is online, he said, do you know the thing from Neighbours? Neighbours,
Well,
everybody needs good neighbours.
well, I think
the love and understanding.
well, I think as
I
Terry,
used to watch that.
well, I think as Terry is very frightened of what his neighbours say.
Yeah.
I did ask Terry to come out to play a piano.
Terry might have got over it now.
Yeah, but Terry
Maybe
told me he was
maybe
scared.
he
He
can
told,
come out now.
Terry told me he was scared of what his neighbours would say.
Perhaps his wife's beating him up.
I think his wife's telling him what to think.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think
Probably
he's really
Elsie's
scared of
telling him
neighbours.
what to think.
Maybe to,
Just do what you're told, Terry. Just do what you're told and believe the BBC. You'll be fine.
Terry says he's scared.
He
No,
should be.
you're not. Right, I think Terry might have got over it now. Maybe he was just scared of that particular day.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Anyway, that's it. So Terry needs to question the mainstream media
And
as well.
Paolo's back on again. He said, Terry, do you prefer Trump or Biden?
No.
Terry said, I made the BBC. Yes, Terry, we gave your name to them. That's why.
Yeah.
Got you an interview.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Campers coming on saying Terry's right, lads.
Yeah. We need to support the arts. Listen, how many bands out there? Look, how many bands have had their tours cancelled?
Terry says, "I just love Dr. K." He's sending you love.
Well, that's probably he's probably been on the Jungle
Can we
Juice.
be nice
That's
to
why.
Terry now? Come on.
Yeah, I know, but he needs to stop.
having a go at Terry.
He needs to stop
Aziz
believing.
is now. Aziz, you're being unfaithful. You said, Terry, when's your stream? And poor old Logan Smith, he said, show us how you did the end of the song, please. What song?
Okay, I'll show you the end of this song.
Zoe, stop playing the piano.
I'll show you this ending. Come here,
Okay.
camera person. I'll
Right.
give you a little free lesson. So this is a nice ending. You can play this back. It's going. Sorry, you can finish it like this. Is simple. Now remember, during lockdown, I worked on my new secure website, which is badassboogie.net. It's in the description below, and I've published my new book, The Badass Boogie Bundle Volume 3. My old website is still up and running, but it's unsecure. I've got a new secure website. It's the first link in the description.
What's a Jupiter X?
It's
Terry says he's got one.
a Jupiter X. Isn't it some kind of drug?
I don't know.
Is it some ancient analog synthesizer? I think it's probably some sort of ancient analog
Theo wants to know
synthesizer.
what your favourite band is.
I have several favourite bands.
But
let's face it.
Mars is online. She says Jupiter X. I don't know what Jupiter X is. Oh, it's a modern synthesizer.
I thought it was an old-fashioned synthesizer. Well, let's face it. If you carry on believing everything you're doing, you're not going to get out and play it. You're just going to have to play it in your living room.
He's coming out.
The point is, we should open all the pubs.
See, somebody says Peng Skin Goosen. That sounds like some kind of slang that when I was teaching in schools that they used to
All right,
say.
I'll do
What's
one
peng
more.
skin?
I'll do one more song. But
Look,
remember,
it's
let's
too
support.
modern for me.
Listen, let's support the arts. Open the theatres, right? Open the
Maybe
theatres.
we should go to a Dr. K protest.
Let the band start playing again. Glastonbury was cancelled. Cirque du Soleil has gone bankrupt.
Maybe we should go to Dr. K protest.
And
Somebody else says Kanye West for president.
well, I don't know much. I don't know.
much about it. I'm quite interested
Well,
in
at the moment, I question everything that moves. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do some research into him, and I
Yeah,
suggest
yeah.
you do that as well. Question everything that moves. But let's get the art. Don't let the arts die. Right, the arts are dying in front of us. Right, the Royal Albert Hall is going out of business. Glastonbury was cancelled. Live musicians are going out of work. They're trying to go online rather desperately. And we're all letting it happen. The arts are dying. Let's support the arts, right? It's really important. If the Royal Albert Hall doesn't open in the summer, do you think it's going to open in the winter? It's going to stay shut. The public pianos are going to stay
No,
shut.
Theo, we're not afraid of coronavirus. We're afraid of the changing world and the new abnormal.
Afraid. The problem is that people.
That's what I'm concerned
It's
about.
very.
Dennis says quite rightly that Western civilization is dying.
Yeah, we're on the. Well, as you see, the arts dying.
says keep music alive.
Yeah, you've got to keep music alive. So we've got to support the arts. It's not a joke. The arts are dying, right? If we play the piano or if we're in acting and we allow the arts to die, think of the world we're going into. Everything is going online. We can't have any more live performances. We've got to stand 6 feet away from each other wearing a mask. We've got to do what we're told. We've got to say, oh yes, this is ridiculous. The arts are dying. There's many actors out there who are out of work. Production teams are out of work. Pubs are shutting down. You go into a pub, you have to give your name and wash your hands and do all sorts of nonsense. The Royal Albert Hall is going out of business. Cirque du Soleil is going out of business. All those pianists and musicians who used to be out touring are now at home trying to go online. We need to support these people. And we need to say enough is enough. Open our theatres. Open our theatres. Let's get the gigs going again. Open the public pianos. And remember, life is inherently risky. So no, I'm not afraid. We want to go out there and take a few risks. None of us are going to get out of life alive. That's the thing.
And somebody else says if the arts are dying, blame Terry Miles. That's
I think it's Terry's fault.
I don't think that's fair.
I think we should blame Terry. It's your fault, Terry. The arts are dying. I think we should all go around. I'm going round to Hackney right now to sort him out. Right, I'm going round to Hackney. Right, is Terry watching this? Right, Terry, I'm coming round to sort you out right now because it's your fault. Right. So all of this is basically Terry's fault, right? I blame it all on Terry. The whole lockdown, everything. It's your fault, Terry. So shut up. I'm coming round to sort you out right now. It's your fault.
Elsie says she's very scared. Right,
Yeah.
Oh, Ewan's come online. Ewan says go and prank Terry.
Yeah, well, basically, it's Terry's fault because of this. It's all Terry. The arts.
Terrence Miles. Says Terrence Miles. Is that another alter ego? He says Terry Miles was meant to play at Glastonbury this year.
I don't think so.
Who's Terrence Miles?
I
Is he
don't-
your alter ego?
I don't know. Anyway, basically, what we're saying is all of this is Terry's fault, right?
Yes.
Everything. So I'm going round to. Actually, I might actually start a protest outside Terry's house in Hackney to end the lockdown. And basically, it's all Terry's fault because he's complying too much
Are you
with
going to
it.
play more music now?
No, I'm going round to Terry's right now to protest.
I'll turn you off now.
Okay, here we go. Support the arts, end the lockdown.
Paul
Support
says,
the arts,
hashtag
end the
free
lockdown.
Terry.
What?
Paul says hashtag free Terry. And also Excalibur has just made a comment that I agree with. But
Yeah.
I won't read out loud, but I agree.
Okay. Support the
Cool name
arts.
for him.
Support the arts. We've basically discovered through this lock stream, we're talking about the lockdown and the compliance. We basically have discovered that it's all Terry's fault. So I'm going to be going. I'm going round to Terry's now to do a protest in and
Paolo, we don't live in America.
Right, Paolo.
We have Terry doesn't live in America either. We
right,
have
Paolo,
no
we're in
votes.
the UK, right? I know Paolo wants us to vote.
Our
Right,
accents
we're
work.
based in the UK. This is London, right? We're based in London.
D. Martin says Terry is in denial.
In denial, what in Egypt?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Well, what I've got to do is
Hayden
this.
says make a diss track on
Well,
Terry.
yeah, I will. I will. I'm going to roast Terry.
Hayden says you are a sheeple. No, we're not. Thank you very much, gamer.
I mean, the whole point of a sheeple is
Yeah,
like.
alright, don't start.
Right. So what I'm.
Right, are we switching you off now?
No, I'm just going to stand on my soapbox. I think I might go down Hyde Park Corner. You know, you can go down Hyde Park Corner and stand on. Well, you probably can't because of the social distancing.
You can do it social distance.
So I was gonna go down to Hyde Park, but perhaps no. Anyway, I've got 100 T-shirts to give away
Yeah,
because
how are you gonna do
just when this lockdown started, I know you're getting bored,
No,
Cameron.
how are you going to do it?
Just when this lockdown started, I gave Terry 100 socks. Right, I gave them to him. Right, I bought them for him. He didn't tell you that, did he? And I've got 100 T-shirts.
Yeah.
And they're still here, so I want to give them away. So as we've discovered that the source of this malevolence and lockdown is Terry, I propose that we go round to his house and sort of give out the T-shirts in front of his house and say, down with this sort of thing. Is everyone up for that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, Terry, I'm coming round now to sort you out. We've discovered that this whole lockdown is your fault, all right? And I'm coming round right now. I think we can end the lockdown. I'm going to get in the car. See you in a minute.
Elsie says thank you for the red socks.
Yeah, I want them back. I'm coming round now.